So, you ever get that feeling that the rules of the career game have just completely changed? You know, that straight line your parents followed, get a degree, land a good job, climb the ladder. It feels like it's just gone, right? Well, you're not crazy. We are in the middle of a massive shift in the job market. And today, we're going to break down exactly what's happening and what it means for you. Okay, let's get into it.
This slide really nails the whole problem. The old path, it was simple, predictable. You get your degree, you find that first entry-level gig, and you're on your way. But now, look at that new reality. AI is basically erasing that first rung of the ladder, turning that once reliable bridge between school and a career into one giant question mark. So, what on earth is happening to that first step?
At the heart of this whole thing is a concept we're calling the hollow pyramid. And this isn't just about a few jobs getting automated. This is way bigger. We're talking about the entire system for how we build talent from the ground up starting to crumble.
So here's the deal. For decades, companies hired junior employees almost like a long-term investment. They knew you weren't going to be super productive on day one, right? But they put in the time and money to train you, hoping you'd become a senior leader down the road. Well, AI has completely shattered that deal. Why would a company pay to train a human for 6 months when an AI can do that same entry-level work on day one for pennies on the dollar?
And look, this isn't some far-off prediction for 2040. This is happening right now. A huge study from Stanford's Digital Economy Lab found that for young people, we're talking 22 to 25-year-olds, jobs exposed to AI have already dropped by as much as 20%, and that's just since 2022. This is the canary in the coal mine, folks. It's screaming that this dislocation is already here.
All right, so let's dig into the why. Why is this hollow pyramid forming? Well, it's really being driven by two massive forces hitting at the exact same time: a crazy leap in technology and some pretty cold, hard economics.
First, let's talk tech. We've moved way beyond the simple chatbots you've messed around with. We are now in the age of agentic AI. And the key thing to get here is that these systems don't just talk, they do. You can give one a complex goal, like, hey, go find all the compliance issues in these 1,000 contracts, and it can actually plan the steps, reason through problems, and execute the entire task by itself. And that kind of work, that was the bread and butter of almost every entry-level white-collar job. But honestly, the tech is only half the story. The real engine driving all of this is pure economics. We're in an era of what you could call intelligence arbitrage. That just means companies are laser-focused on finding the absolute cheapest way to get a thinking task done. And as you're about to see, the numbers are they're impossible to ignore. Just take a second and look at this table. The difference is staggering. Your average junior employee in the US costs about $25 an hour and takes months to get up to speed. Now, look all the way over at the AI column. It costs less than 50 cents an hour. It works 24/7. It can scale to do the work of 1,000 people instantly, and its training time, milliseconds. When you see it laid out like this, it's pretty clear. There's just no competition on cost. And if that table was a bit much, this chart makes it crystal clear. We're talking about a 95 to 98% cost reduction. This isn't just a small efficiency game. It is a fundamental economic reset. For a company's bottom line, automating these roles isn't just a choice anymore. It's practically a requirement to stay competitive. Now, this creates a really dangerous long-term problem. We call it the mediocrity trap. See, generative AI is amazing at producing good enough work. You know, that B- first draft of a report or a marketing email. But that good enough work is exactly how juniors used to learn. It's how they practiced and got feedback and eventually became great. So if AI is doing all that average work now, how does anyone get the reps they need to actually become an expert? The whole pipeline for developing skills just gets hollowed out.
Okay, so which jobs are really on the front lines here? Let's get specific and look at the hit list. The jobs that are going to feel this impact the most and the fastest between now and 2030. First up, no surprise here, the most vulnerable group by far, administrative and operational support roles. The quote on the slide says it all. This is the low-hanging fruit. And why is that? It's because these jobs are almost entirely made up of predictable, repeatable tasks. Things like scheduling meetings, organizing files, entering data. That's exactly what this new agentic AI is built to do, flawlessly. So yeah, we're talking about administrative assistants, data entry clerks, payroll administrators. These jobs face an extreme risk, with some estimates saying 50 to 60% of their tasks could be displaced. These roles used to be the classic foot in the door to the corporate world, and they are vanishing fast. All right, this one might actually surprise you. For the last 10 years, the advice has been learn to code, right? It was seen as the golden ticket. Well, that's not such a sure thing anymore. Junior software developers and QA testers are now considered high risk. And the reason is simple. AI is now incredible at writing basic, boilerplate code, running software tests, and even finding bugs. A single senior engineer armed with AI tools can now do the work that used to take a whole team of juniors. So what are companies doing? They're freezing entry-level tech hiring. Cluster number 3 is customer service, and it's getting a complete reset. Companies are all in on an AI-first, human-second model. The AI handles all the easy Tier 1 questions, which basically eliminates the main on-ramp for a career in customer support. And finally, if you thought you were safe in a creative job, think again. That old model of hiring a bunch of junior writers and designers to just churn out tons of social media posts and blog drafts, that's quickly becoming obsolete. The AI now creates that first draft, and the human's job is shifting to become more of an editor or a creative director. Now, this slide shows a concept that is absolutely crucial to understand. It's called unbundling. See, AI doesn't usually automate an entire job. It automates the tasks inside that job. Let's take a paralegal, for example. As you can see, AI can totally automate document review and scheduling. Bam, that's 60% of the job right there. It can also make case research way faster. So what's left that's uniquely human? Really, it's just that 10% of high-touch client interaction. And here's the punchline. Here's what that unbundling means in the real world. The job title paralegal will probably still exist, but because one single paralegal, superpowered by AI, can now do the work of 5, the industry might need 80% fewer of them. The title survives, but the number of actual jobs just collapses.
Okay, I know that was a lot, and it's a pretty sobering picture. But it is not hopeless, I promise. So let's pivot. Let's stop talking about the threat and start talking about the opportunity. It's time for your AI survival guide.
Look, the old advice, just get a good degree, go find an internship, it's not going to cut it anymore. It's not enough to navigate this completely new world. So the question is, what is the new playbook? How do you build a career that's resilient in the age of AI?
The new playbook really comes down to 3 big strategic pivots. First, you have to audit your own skills for what we call AI resistance. That means moving away from anything that's predictable and digital, and moving toward work that involves ambiguity, messy real-world problems, and physical interaction. Think skilled trades, hands-on scientific research, or managing live events. Second, you have to adopt the centaur strategy. Think of the mythical half-human, half-horse. The idea is simple. Stop trying to compete with the horse. Learn to be the rider. Your job is no longer to do the grunt work. It's to direct these incredibly powerful AI tools. Become an expert at managing AI. And third, you have to double down on the skills that are uniquely human. AI is not good at genuine leadership. It has no emotional intelligence. It can't navigate a high-stakes negotiation. These skills, empathy, complex communication, conflict resolution, are now the premium skills. This is where humans will always have the advantage.
This final quote, man, it just says it all. The old career ladder is broken. Success is no longer about just being a reliable cog in a machine, processing information. It's now about becoming an architect of intelligence, learning how to wield these new tools to solve problems that only humans can solve. The age of the average worker is truly over, but as the slide says, the age of the augmented human has just begun.